Well, my history is quite interesting. It's different than most people because my father's business was running rivers. He ran rivers down the San Juan River, the Colorado River, and the Green River. And when I was growing up, I spent most of my summers outdoors running rivers. And this is important because we were outside during all of this testing that was taking place. So we were exposed more to the testing than a lot of people because we're outside all the time and we slept outside, and so we were more exposed to the testing and the effects of the radiation than a lot of people were. I have 5 siblings, and all of us but one contracted cancer. So that tells you something. 2 of my brothers have died as a result of the cancer. My oldest brother's name was Edward Earl Wright, and my other brother's name was Willard Samuel Wright. Edward had cancer in his nose, the same as I have. Cancer destroyed a lot of my nose. He had cancer, destroyed a lot of his nose, and he had cancer in his prostate. And my other brother had cancer in his liver, and he passed away as a result of that. But he was working in Washington, D.C. at the time. He was a high executive in Washington. At one time, he was in charge of all of the Army recruiting stations in the United States. And so when he died, the flag was flown at half-mast. And he was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. I'm 80 years old, so forgive me if I don't remember everything. But I distinctly remember the testing that took place in Nevada and all the talk about the fallout, the fallout from the testing and all this type of thing, you know. So I distinctly remember all of that taking place. And we live in the heart of the uranium country. Massive amounts of uranium were produced in this area here. And so most of the town, a lot of the town, were mining uranium at that time. My father was part owner of a uranium mine in Moab. And so I spent quite a bit of time mining uranium. And most of the people in Blanding that were involved in this have passed away because of the dangers of the radiation and the mining. It's been a real town tragedy. It hits pretty hard to home because it's affected almost every member of my family. Like I said, we were in the tourist business. We were running rivers at that time. We were exposed outside all summer long, and so we were especially exposed to this more than other people were. This had a dramatic family. The cancer destroyed my nose. You can see what it's done. It's taken a great big chunk of my nose out. I have a hole all the way through my nose down into my nostrils. And the reason I haven't had it repaired is because a friend of mine had the same thing. He had a cancer on his nose, the same as myself. And I basically treated it myself. I didn't go to a doctor. I've had bad experiences with the medical people on operation, this type of thing, because I've learned over the years that cancer produces roots. And when you cut those roots, it spreads the cancer all through your body. which is exactly what happened to my friend. We were both using a black salve, an old Indian remedy that kills cancer, and it was keeping everything under control. But the doctors got to my friend and they said, look, this is stupid. You're using a stupid thing that's not helping you at all. What you need to do is do some proper treatment on your cancer. Go to a doctor and have it done properly. So they convinced him to do this. So he went to Durango, Colorado, went to cancer specialists, and guess what they did to treat his nose? Can you guess? They cut his nose off and rebuilt a completely new nose, which cost him probably $500,000 at least. And within 6 months, he was dead. Cut the nose off, it spread the cancer all through his body. If it had stayed with the program that we were doing, he would still be alive today. And I eventually got rid of the cancer, but the cancer ate this hole in my nose. What's interesting about it was that I was picking dead cancer roots out of the hole in my nose. But I did kill the cancer myself and got rid of it. But I'm sure that if I'd have gone the medical way on this, I'd be dead by now. The government had a program to compensate people for the cancer. I'm the only one, well, my oldest brother didn't ever apply for this, but all the rest of us applied for this compensation. I was the only one that didn't receive any compensation because it was in my nose. And I guess they claimed that you couldn't prove that the radiation had damaged the nose, you know, so. All the rest of my siblings received government compensation for what happened to them. I'm a writer. I've written 70 books. And the reason I do this is because I feel like the information should be preserved. And so I spent all my life gathering information and documenting it, preserving it. So I'm here today because I appreciate what you're doing. I believe that this should be documented, it should be preserved. I believe the people that have suffered so much from the radiation and the things that are taking place, I believe that they should be remembered, should never be forgotten. Because it's basically affected thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Many widows and children have lost their loved ones over this, and it's been a terrible situation, really. It affected so many people. So for this reason, I applaud what you're doing. You're keeping us in remembrance, and hopefully the nation will never forget what's taking place.